And welcome back to Survivor Girl Podcast. Happy Survivor Girl Sunday. I'm so excited for you guys to be joining me tonight. And I also have Tony in the captain's chair over there. Just say hi if you can. He's hanging out with me. He's going to help me to weed through some questions or whatever is happening on Twitch. And I've got YouTube, so you guys feel free to please ask questions and interact with me throughout the show. We absolutely love that. So thank you guys for doing that. But before I get going, I want to put out the general disclaimer that I am not a doctor. I cannot prescribe or treat any illnesses, mental health or anything like that. I just am telling my story, sharing my story, just like some of my guests when they're on, do to help uplift and inspire those who are going through similar things. So I'm thankful to be here. Happy to be on episode 45. Episode 45. I've been doing this for 45 episodes now, and that's super exciting. I'm very glad because throughout this whole process, I have been able to meet so many cool, inspiring, humble, amazing people, and I continue to keep on doing that. And it's so awesome to be able to know that whatever direction that I am going in, I keep on touching people's lives. I've gotten several messages in my inbox thanking me not only for Survivor Girl Facebook page, Positive Morning Message Crew, for Survivor Girl podcast, of thanking me for having guests on that they related to talking about just in general real life situations, things that I go through, having people on that have gone through some of the similar things but are different than my story, and just being able to share those kind of things and get that stuff out there so that people don't feel like they're alone in whatever it is that they're going through. So I appreciate those from the very bottom of my heart. Last week I talked about that, and said, when I get those kind of messages, it makes me feel good. It does make me tear up because I am an emotional person. We've talked about this on the show before. And I'm thankful, though, that I get those messages, and I appreciate each and every one of you reaching out to me. And I try my very best to reach out back to continue the uplifting and inspiring messages going. And I'm so thankful for that. So there's been all of that kind of going on and a lot of exciting stuff. I've been really super busy. Now that I have started to kind of get out there more and start talking with people face to face and, meeting new people through one of the weirdest things I never expected to start meeting people through. I'm doing farmers markets with my jewelry that I started like 6 years ago. And I kind of want to talk a little bit more about that because in the beginning, this was back, I'd say about almost 7 years ago. I started out making earrings that were less than perfect. I wanted to try something new, and I actually decided to go for it while I was doing my day job, night job actually, because I was working third shift at Walmart. And I wanted to get creative because I've always been a creative person. My parents have always been super supportive throughout my life, of whether it be music or arts or whatever it was, which is really cool because I know there's a lot of people out there whose parents weren't very supportive on making jewelry or music or certain things like that. So when you have a family that supports you and goes, go and do what it is that you love best, that makes your soul happy, that is a really cool thing to have. So I'm thankful, and a shout out to both my parents for that, both being artistic. My mom was a super, super, super crafty. She could sew, tried teaching me how to sew. I had an awesome idea about, before the earrings, I had an awesome idea about making purses. I wanted to design these purses. I had so many ideas. Turned out mom was designing these purses and sewing them and putting everything together for me. And I got to the point where I was like, I can't do this because it's not me doing it. So, I love being able to have that kind of creativity and that I can mess with wire or, whatever kind of thing it is. I'm not big on sewing, and that was her thing. She would make dolls and bears for funeral homes for people's clothing, that loved ones that had passed on, which I thought was super cool. And then she started getting into making quilts for hospice. Just that heart, that's that's where I get some of that from, that good stuff. And I'm thankful for that. And my dad's the same way, he would help out a lot with a lot of things as well. But my dad was like Bob Ross artist and bass player and music. And, so I got a really cool family when it comes to musical stuff. My brother is extremely talented when it comes to music.
Happy little clouds.
Happy little cloud. That's a happy little accident. Maybe that's what he said. No, anyway. So, I come from a really cool, artistic, talented family. My grandfather, my dad's mom, my mom's dad, I mean, was very, he was an inventor. He invented stuff from what I understand. And my grandmother, who was my mom's mom, did, drawings and things. And they were really super cool. She made like a calendar packet one year for everybody, which was awesome. And then, like on my dad's side, my grandma did ceramics, and my grandpa was more business and hockey, which is different than the rest of us, but it was still super cool to hear those stories. But, to come from a family who has all kinds of talents and such, that made me feel really good when I started to create stuff on my own. So, meager start, little earrings, Swarovski crystal essences, just tiny little earrings. I was very excited about it. My mom was super supportive about it, took me to go pick out stuff and whatever. And I thought that was cool. Wasn't very good. I'm going to be honest with you. I sold a couple pairs, which was nice, and I still have some left. And then I started to decide on different ways to change it up and go with recycled items because I feel like we throw away a lot of stuff as a society. And for me, I started to create different works of art with things that you would not expect, which is really cool. And I'm very happy to be doing that. So now that I've started to build up an inventory and started to actually have legit displays and stuff to be able to take to farmers markets or, whatever shows and things like Shipshawana, which is super exciting, by the way. I'm working on getting into that. It's a lot of fun, and it's something that makes me really super happy. Now, if there's certain people that would probably be like, well, that's not really a career, but it can be if you put a lot, put the effort into it, which is part of what I do. So I'm feeling really good about that because I'm meeting a ton of different people. I had somebody actually buy one of my circuit board pieces, and it's really like a conversational piece. And we started talking about me getting into doing this stuff, and then of course I started to talk about Survivor Girl podcast and where I come from and the things that I do with Survivor Girl podcast. And I've met some really cool people, and I'm hoping that I'm going to have them on the show as guests, which I'm hoping so. And we're also talking about more of the Survivor Girl spotlights, which I've mentioned to you guys. So in doing so, this past weekend, doing the Vassar Farmer Market, thank you to Arliss and all of the other vendors that were there. Great produce, lots of really amazing craftsmanship. There's a lady there, I guess, that has amazing scones, cookies, just scones.
That would be Amanda.
I actually was able to share with her one of my cheesecake pieces this week, or a slice of cheesecake, and we kind of shared back and forth. But I can't obviously eat the scones or whatever. But I've heard they're amazing. But there's
yes, they're absolutely amazing.
You and Adam.
They're Adam approved.
Adam approved for sure. So, that's, I feel like that is something that is really cool. I get to interact with other people and, get to meet new people and talk about the Survivor Girl podcast and, my story. In turn, they get to tell me about theirs, which is really awesome. I feel like I'm being driven in this direction to be able to help reach out to more people. And also to do something that I absolutely love. And what's not fun about being able to make jewelry pieces out of recycled stuff? So I'm working on, actually, I've got patent pending on my designs, which is, I never thought that I would be there. I never thought that I would get to that point. So that's really awesome. I'm working through that kind of stuff, and because it's all unique, and I'm proud of it. I can say that. I was going to talk about this last week. Growing up, and I think I did talk a little bit about this. Yeah, a little bit. Growing up, I don't know where or when it happened, but I had like a turn of events where I started to worry about being good at stuff. Like I started to get very awkward when it came to people giving me compliments, when it came to being proud of something that I made or I did or I baked or dinner I cooked or whatever, because I was afraid of being cocky. And I think it's because I ran across quite a few people early on that I had met that were kind of like that, that were just like all about themselves and just like rubbing it in your face how good they were about things. And I got rubbed the wrong way, I think, on that. And I, started to worry that what if I become that person? Like I can't accept, like, get shy and meager about it and be like, I can't talk about being good at something. But I want to talk about that, guys, because if you're doing something that sets your soul on fire and makes you excited and you are really good at it, there's a difference between being cocky and confident and being excited about something that you created to make somebody else happy or put a smile on somebody else's face. So, I want you guys to go forward in this next week to be proud of yourself and accept a compliment this week coming up. If somebody gives you a compliment about something that you're doing, accept it gracefully. Smile. Say thank you. Don't go, well, you were this or you do this, instead of just going, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that compliment. It's so easy to do, kind of. But yeah, I hope that you guys are able to do that. Last week we talked a little bit about the feel good things, the things that make you feel. I want to kind of go back a little bit there before I get any further with talking about that. We talked about the feel good things, memories from childhood, the books that I constantly do every single day, that I write in, my journals, all that fun stuff that I'm discovering and learning about my authentic self, which I used to think was goofy when my mom went through it around this age. Like, I used to tease her about this, but I'm super happy that I do these kinds of things because even at 40, I'm still learning a whole bunch of things about myself. And I also, admit, which is fun, not fun, but kind of, these books kind of make you think about where you're at in life. The things that you may have done, because let's face it, nobody's perfect. We are all responsible for the things that we do. Sometimes we are naive about some of the stuff that we do, and we don't realize that we've hurt people's feelings. We don't realize that we've done stuff that could harm a friendship, a relationship with a family member or a friend or whatever. And it's hard because a lot of times we've been taught to not have that kind of open communication and to have two different people coming from different walks of life and have been raised differently. That can be difficult sometimes. So, there's all kinds of these different things that I think about and learning that, and I've said it before, you guys, I'm not perfect. I'm sure that I have unintentionally hurt somebody and I've just never been aware of it, or I don't know how to deal with it or express that feeling. So these journals that I've got, which I posted on Survivor Girl Facebook page, I just posted the pictures. These are stuff that I've gotten from for my birthday from Barnes and Nobles. You can find them online. One of the other ones I talked about was a gratitude journal, which I also found on Amazon. That was a fun thing to work through each day. I got a chance to write down the different things. They'd ask you specific. No, yep, help me out here.
Specific.
There we go. See, I get going too fast sometimes, guys. They ask you those questions, and then it really makes you think, like, what am I grateful for? And it really does change your outlook for the day moving forward. So I'd like you guys, if you get a chance, to take a look at those. They're not very expensive. They're pretty reasonable, and you don't have to do every single book. But if you've been struggling with trying to stay positive on a daily basis, especially through everything that we've been facing in 2020, this is something maybe to look into. Journaling, I've always felt, is good. It's not for everybody, but I picked out a really pretty purple journal, a purple ink pen, and I'm constantly on, because that's something that makes me happy. So I've been busy, and I write every day. Well, almost every day. So that's another thing I want to talk to you guys about. Touched a little bit of base on this last week. Me and Adam were having vehicle issues, and honestly, it put me in a depression. I had 3 days where I was just like, I don't feel like doing nothing. I steered clear of doing my routine that I religiously do every single morning, other than the praying part, because that's something that I do It's totally up to you, whatever it is, however you want to put your routine every morning. Tony's got a completely different routine than I do, and that's okay. It's individualized. You can do it however you want to. And the best part about it is that if you go off of doing your routine, you can go right back onto it the very next day. The best thing that I can say though is to not bully yourself about it. Do not be down on yourself about it. Don't say, "Well, I messed up. I didn't get this done." Well, you know what? We're human. If you don't get it done, if you don't do it every single day, that's okay. But remember, you can get back up to it and do it again the next day. For me, it brings peace in the mornings. It brings positivity to me. It brings a sense of calming. It helps my anxiety. It helps my depression. This is just something that helps me individually. Like I said, I can't prescribe or treat anybody. I do have a medical first aid or mental first aid certificate, and I'm certified in a couple other things, but psychology is not mine. I only speak from the experiences of things that I go through on a daily basis. And again, I always recommend that if you feel that you go through the same things, you can always talk to a professional that is licensed and find out what works best for you. I've been in therapy since I was 15, off and on throughout my life. Same therapist, pretty much might as well be my family member by now because I've known her since I was 15. And, it's incredible the things that I've gone through with her and that she's seen me evolve into who I am today. And we talked about that, it's like, "Hey, Kim, do you notice that where I'm at?" And she'll say, "You have come so far because we have had that professional relationship." And that doesn't work for everybody. I've talked to several people that don't believe in therapy, and I'm not, that's okay. You need to find what works best for you. I know certain people that medications work for, other people, it does not. You really have to find out what it is that works best for you. And by doing that, you can talk to your family physician, you can talk to a therapist if you want, or if you go the holistic route, you can talk with a holistic doctor. However, it is, even if you go to church, you can talk to a therapist there too. They have counselors there as well. It just really depends. It's not one size fits all, it's how you fit it into your life. And I think that that is part of the mental health awareness, being mindful of what your body needs. Because honestly, guys, and I've experienced this, missing out on certain vitamins and nutrients that you need in your diet on a daily and water can mess with you mentally and physically. So, it's really about trying to find out what is the best or not remedy, but recipe for yourself to continue. So the past week with everything that was going on, I had a therapy session during that week. I laid it all on the table with my therapist, and I recognized it. I recognized that I was down because I was like, yeah, I'm waiting until like 11 o'clock at night to do my devotions and my journaling and my meditation time and relaxation. And I'm going, that's not like me. I want to lay down and take a nap. And then finally, I got past that. And we still didn't have a vehicle yet, but I got past that before, with the help of Adam, my friends, my therapist, and just being honest about it and going, "Hey, this is what I'm facing right now." Like, being vocal sometimes is super hard to do, but I think it's very important if you have people that you can talk to about it. Like I said, you can seek out professional, you have friends, family, or whatever that you trust in that you can talk to. But it's really about taking that step to feel comfortable to talk about it. And I want to say to you guys, there's been times in my life where I felt like I was a burden, that I didn't want to put this stuff on my friends or on my family. But you know what? It's okay to. It's okay to share that. And if they can't handle it, they hopefully can help direct you to the right person. Or if they can't, hopefully you have more people that you're able to kind of bounce things off and talk to about. Because sometimes getting caught up in your own head is just a hard thing to deal with. And when you start feeling like you're a burden and that people don't want to listen to you or can't help you, there's a difference between being a burden and somebody who is dramatic all the time and just putting stuff out there and Facebook to try to grab attention. There's a difference. If you genuinely are not always trying to say put problems on people or whatever it is, you're not a burden. You can talk to people, like reach out. Please reach out. Reach out before it gets to be too much. And don't be ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed of who you are, or if you're struggling through something mentally, because I'm going to be honest with you, there's very few people that don't suffer with some kind of mental health issues or physical health issues that cause mental health. So, it's not that big of a stigma anymore. And yes, I am a huge advocate for this because I go through it myself. And yes, I've had times where I felt like that. But then when I started talking about it and I started being honest about it, I started wearing my heart on my sleeve about it. And I just said, you know what? This is me. How am I going to navigate life with this? How can I continue to move forward and up with this instead of letting it hold me down? That's important. Like, remember, you're here for a reason. What reason it is, we don't know. But, like I said, my path has changed. I, a long time ago, thought that Walmart, third shift, that was it. That was where my life was going. And again, please don't mistake that for me saying that that is a bad choice. If that is something that you do and you're okay with it and you're happy with it, all means we need everybody to do these kinds of jobs. So we give you, I give you credit. If that is something that you enjoy and you're happy with that, I'm very happy for you because like I said, it takes all kinds of walks of life to do these jobs. So please don't take it as I am bringing you down. It just was not something for me. I struggled with it. My health struggled with it. There was a lot of different things that I was going through at the time. So I'm going to go ahead and look over on YouTube really quick. I have Adam checking in saying, sounding great. A couple other people that are listening that haven't mentioned that they're here yet. That's okay. So I'm thankful that you guys are tuning in, and thank you for that. Sometimes you never know exactly how it's sounding or what's going on. We go through some different things, technical issues and difficulties. So another thing too, while I'm here, while Tony stepped away from the mic for a second, I want to give a shout out to solidstateradio.net for re-airing me on Sundays. You guys can check them out. Super excited to be a part of their radio show. Also want to thank Strange Friends Media, SFM. They not only do Survivor Girl podcasts, but they do Don't Make This Weird, and This Is My Brain, and we are looking at other podcasts coming down the pipe, so that's exciting. One second here while I take a drink with my Survivor Girl cup. I love this thing.
Shameless plug is great. Candy chimes in and says, "Hi sis, sorry late to the party." She spent the week here, and we were doing some amazing things as ephemery.
Yes, it was such an incredible week, and thank you for chiming in. I am happy. Okay, so that's another thing. Going on along the lines of having people to bounce things off of, talk to, do things. We all face something differently, mentally, physically, whatever. So the week started out. I got to have lunch with her and with Dawn, who is my executive assistant for Survivor Girl, who I absolutely love. Big shout out to her. Also, she's my Rarity Nails distributor. I love those things. It's so easy to use those. I'm not sponsored by them, but I do want to give her a shout out. If you guys like the nail stickers and you like the convenience of that and the fact that they're only $5, reach out to Dawn with Rarity Nails on Facebook. I will put the link up on Survivor Girl. Anyway, we got to have a lunch together, and we talked about a lot of things and just kind of ran things through with each other, and just it was so comfortable. And to have a group of, or I guess not a group, like three of us just kind of hanging out, not feeling any animosity or any what do you want to say, competition, anything like that, just to chill, to talk, to have your good vibe tribe. Like, that was awesome. That is a great feeling, to just be able to just talk, have a wonderful lunch, and just talk about what's good.
Good vibe tribe. There's marketing there. Something.
No, that's already something. That's not me. I can't take any credit for that. That's already somebody else. So that was a good thing. And then we went on from there to have a couples weekend, or not weekend. It wasn't a weekend. It was a dinner, which was very cool. Unfortunately, one of the couples wasn't able to make it, which was it was hard. We missed them very much. But we had three couples together. We did an awesome dinner. Got to spend time with a newer couple that's kind of started to become part of our family, if you will. Feel very awesome hanging out with them. They're very good, upbeat, fun people. Um, and they have been bringing me along on the farmers market stuff, which is really cool. I was talking with them about that because it felt like instantly becoming a family. If you ever felt that good feeling, that good vibe, very cool people. And again, we talked about that whole not having a competition thing, about just being in the moments, just feeling good and happy, and that energy surrounding. That is very important for somebody who goes through anxiety and depression, to have that kind of a feeling, that energy around you and in your life. So I'm very thankful for that. And I want to give a shout out to Mary's handmade creations. I said it right this time. She'd hang me up. No, she wouldn't. I want to give a shout out to her and to Rodney, because they have been bringing me along on the marketing, farmers market stuff, and everything. And that's so awesome. They're helping me to grow with what I'm doing and the stuff that they already are used to doing. And doing so, I get to meet more people for Survivor Girl as well, because I advertise for that. So a shout out to them. A shout out to the ones that stopped into my booth, the ones that got to tell me a little bit about their story. Oh man, it hit me right in the feels. It was such a good experience to stand, face to face and talk with somebody who has a story of survival and thriving. It was very cool to be able to reconnect with people in that way. And like I said, I'm working on trying to get them on the show. I'm also talking with another group that helps to educate people on one of the really real things that we are experiencing with human trafficking and stuff like that. I'm hoping to be able to get them on the show too. And as soon as I know, you guys, I will put that out there. I know the big Save Our Children movement thing that's going on right now. I'm trying to get more information on these things before I speak more of it. And it's something else that is really tugging at my heart right now, because there's so many different things, so many different parts to all of that that's going on. And I want to get more educated before I bring any more of that up. But I am trying to get in touch with somebody who can help us to know the statistics, to be able to sit down with them and explain to all of us and to educate us on how to spot when something like that is happening, how to you can get free training on this as well, how to report, how to act on it if you need, if they need help, how to do all of that safely. So I'm looking forward to hearing back from them and hopefully being able to get them on, whether it's just on a phone interview or whatever, so that more people get aware of what to do and what's going on, because it's a very scary thing. The more and more that I continue to read on, educate myself on it, and find out more about it, it's a very hard thing. And I'd like to be more aware and to help put the awareness out to you guys as well, because that's a whole nother thing that we need to be vigilant on as well, and to help with surviving and thriving. So again, I was talking about jumping in, doing your something that your soul calls you to do, like with me, like I said, the jewelry thing, the podcast thing. These are things that I never imagined that I would be doing, and I kind of touched base on that last week, because I was very good at self sabotaging myself, not feeling like I was good enough to be able to do stuff like this, not having the self confidence to be able to do things. And even then, like, I know I get talking really fast sometimes. I mess up words. I say wrong words or ask Tony for help on the mic with them, because I'm not afraid to show you guys that I'm not perfect. I know this is live, it's not scripted. I just kind of go with what I am feeling, what I've done research on, talking a little bit about the things that I've gone through, and this is part of me thriving. After all the things that I've gone through, I'm very big on talking about thriving. I'm big on finding out and the things that I'm trying to grow through while I'm going through. Like I said last week, with having a little bit of depression and stuff, thank God I'm here this week, pulled out of it. And guess what? Things are better. Sometimes it just takes a little bit to get through, to not give up on yourself and to keep on going, because this week is much better. Other than the back pain, I did go through that, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful because knowing even with that back pain and having to get that looked at, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm breathing. I'm with you guys. You guys, my positive morning people, I get to message them every morning. Be able to do this. There's so many things that I would be so afraid to miss out on, even if I had a shadow of a doubt of a moment where I felt like I shouldn't. And I know we've all probably faced that at some point. Maybe not everybody.
Candy chimes in and says, by the way, Taylor loved the necklace you made her.
Taylor loved the necklace I made her?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yup.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Who's Taylor?
Taylor down at the man cave.
I'm so confused.
Jeremy's son.
Oh, for her?
Yeah.
Oh, the necklace for Candy. Taylor loves the necklace.
Yes.
Okay. I got it. The circuit board, I think. Or the other one. I don't know.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Thanks, Taylor.
Mary's cat toy is Sadie and Hawthorne approved.
They are. Those are good. The cat, yeah. So, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And that makes me feel good too. Getting the buzz out about something unique, something different. And like I said, the patenting of that and whatever. But the thing is, no matter how hard last week was, I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to keep on going. There's been some moments, like I said, I don't even know what I did to hurt my back. I have no idea. I've had a back injury. And I know somebody else, one of my dear friends, that has been going through way worse with her. She's got a back injury right now, and she's been down for the count for about 6 weeks. And she's still keeping on and holding on, and, that's tough. That's tough stuff. It's hard to motor through and to keep on moving forward with that stuff. I've only had to deal with it for a little bit over a week, and to the point where, I finally had Adam take me in to get it checked out. And I am not a big person for medications and stuff. And also, a lot of people might not know this, but when you have bariatric surgery, you can't take Motrin, you can't take ibuprofen, you can't take aspirin or any of that stuff by digesting it, because it will put holes in your little stomach that they create for you. It causes a lot of issues, ulcers and stuff, which can put you in some big trouble. So they had to give me a shot with it. That way it wasn't digesting through my stomach. And then I also had gotten some, I hate pills, hate them. But they gave me just there. They didn't prescribe me because they said I'm not a big pill fan, They gave me a Valium and a patch on my back. And yes, I was super goofy. Adam can attest to that. But it did help me to sleep that
Please
night.
tell me there was footage.
There's old from one time that I had it before. He's got it somewhere. So I'm not a big fan of it. They didn't give me any extra after that, but they did give me what they call that is the NSAID, the Motrin and stuff. That's what it's called. They gave me a cream that Adam can put on my back so it absorbs through that spot, but it doesn't go through my stomach. And I didn't know that was something available. So I have been taking it easy. Even though I don't want to, other than the farmer's market, but I still was getting up and sitting down and taking things easy. You guys helped me out tremendously, which I appreciate. Thank you guys.
Candy did chime in and said, yes, the circuit board.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I will hopefully have some of those pictures up for that soon. I ordered a shadow box or photography box, light box, so that I could take like more professional pictures to where you could see them better. But when I received it, the LED lights flash, and so I couldn't get a good picture. So I have to send that back and get a new one. But so those will be up, and like I said, they are patent pending too. So which is never ever in a million years thought that I would be doing something like that. So I guess getting back to, you go through some rough bumps, you hit some rough patches, and sometimes you don't understand how to help yourself get out of it. Sometimes you're afraid to lean on people for them to help you through, or you're afraid that they're not going to be able to withstand anything that you're going through or know how to help you. But sometimes just talking it through, even if it's slightly leaning on them, can help you to get in a different direction. We're not perfect. Nobody is. And even the person that thinks that they're perfect, they still have stuff that's going on. But I encourage to let people in. That's a scary thing too, because who hasn't been hurt by somebody? We've all been hurt by somebody. We've all probably hurt somebody, and it's hard to trust to be able to talk about things that are going on in here and in here with somebody, especially after you've been hurt, after you have gone through some very difficult things. But I guess the message that I want to say is it's a leap. It's a leap, just like it's a leap for me to do the jewelry stuff and to try to count on that to be something that I'm going to be able to sustain and to make money with. We make all kinds of leaps in our lives, and they're scary. It's scary. If anybody had listened or tuned into the episode or the short Survivor Girl minute, whatever, I don't know, what do I call those? Drawing a blank here. Spotlight. There we go. If you guys tuned into that to see me facing one of my fears and getting up 15 feet in the air, terrifying. But I tried it. And I'm not saying that if you try this or if you lean on somebody that they're not going to crumble, they're not going to be able to handle it. I'm not saying that if you get up there, you're not going to be terrified yourself. I'm not saying that you're not going to get hurt, because as human beings, we can't say that we're not going to hurt each other. We can't say that we're not going to mess up. We can't say that things in our lives aren't going to change so much that we don't know how to incorporate some of the people that we loved in our life before. Life gets messy. It changes. We evolve. We grow. And sometimes through the growing process, you lose out on a lot of things and people. Things change. And sometimes you don't know how to continue to invite some of those people back in, or to trust some of the new people to be able to say, hey, this is me completely, 100%, just me, all of the dumpster fire. We joke about that often, don't we? But it's scary. Who doesn't believe that raise your hand if you think that it's scary to trust anybody, to trust telling them things about your life, to trust having them become part of your family, part of your friend circle, life is scary. And here's another great example of things that can go sideways. You look on social media right now, and people that you absolutely adore and you've thought nothing but like great things about them, you see them just like going off on other people, yelling at them, calling them names, and you're like, is this the same person that I'm like, wow, what's happening? But I'm not saying that I don't still love and care about some of these people. Some people go a little bit far, but I try to stop, and Adam's really taught me some of this. Like one of his things throughout this whole thing has been, well, you give somebody fear, and of course they're going to act completely different than how they were acting before, because not only are they have fear introduced into their life if they hadn't before, but they also have some mental stuff going on by having to stay away from people and not hugging people and not loving people and not going to their everyday job. Life as we know it has been turned upside down for quite a few people, not everybody, but for quite a few people. And I think pretty much the majority, because there's different ways of work now. Some places are considering that you have to wear a mask and different regulations and whatever. So life has changed for everybody at this point. When it goes to that way, even I know, with Tony, I'm not calling you out here, but you have not done much. You haven't changed much with like mask and stuff. However, it has changed in your life too, because there's still some people that you love and you care about that aren't ready to have that hug from you, not able to interact and be a part of your life on a daily. So it has really affected everybody.
Well, and I think that's the key that you're talking about is fear is a hell of a motivator. And coming from a point of anxiety, I've already had that fear element, and trying to get rid of it or find coping mechanisms to uh, deal with all of that. Some days it works, other days it doesn't. And you're absolutely right. It makes you more vigilant. I mean, I have to laugh because I was having a conversation in the green room today between sets. And I'm like, I know this is why I'm going to survive the apocalypse because I'm going to be like, well, that sucks. Looks like it's me and the cockroaches, guys, because
Play us out, Joe's apartment.
yeah, right. Welcome to Joe's
Right.
apartment. But no, it's funny because when you are an isolationist by behavior of mental dysfunction,
Mhm.
you're okay with distancing yourself from people, even though it's people that remind you that you're a human being. And when you
Right.
don't have, a hug
Mhm.
or, an embrace from someone that you love and care about,
Right.
that puts you a little sideways.
It does. So in general, like I said, it has in one way or another affected everybody because even if you do what you do, and you've had people come at you about not, and I'm not trying to make this about you or call you out or anything or make it awkward.
No, go
But
ahead,
you've
please.
had several people on your Facebook page come at you because you yourself are not somebody that believes in wearing masks when you go into the store or whatever. And I try to look at it like this. That's your decision. That's your choice. For me, if I run into the store, I will put one on. I will go in quick, and I can't stay in very long because I start to get headaches. I can't wear it very long. I know that ultimately it feels like it's messing with my lungs and my head and everything. But for me, Adam and I, we run in, we wear them, and whatever. However, it's been nice to be out at the farmers market, not having it on. But if a patron came up to me and asked that I wore it, I would be respectful of them, because they're in my booth or whatever. However, it's been back and forth. There's been some people that have come in without, and some that haven't. And I look at it this way: it's all about what feels right for yourself. But we're too busy. There's so many people that are too busy looking over the fence and going, mm-mm, that's not right.
I think one
You
of the,
know,
the most humbling moments that we've experienced both weekends was the fact that there was people that come up into the booth
hmm
and were wearing a mask. And they saw all of us there not wearing masks
right,
and socially distancing.
right, well, for sure, yeah.
Uh,
That either with mask or not, there's
right.
been a social distancing.
Right. And being respective of others'
Mhm.
bubble, if you will.
Right,
And it was funny because they saw us not wearing masks and they went, "Is it okay if I take this thing off because it's really annoying?"
yeah.
And then being able to see those expressions, to see their smile,
It's
to
such a
see them
difference.
engage as a real human
hmm
being instead of, well, from the nose down, we can't tell what you're doing.
Right.
And they complimented us several times on that. It's so nice to walk someplace and to see somebody's facial expressions.
hmm
And they're like, "Thank you guys for doing that."
It
It was
does.
such a cool thing to
It
experience.
causes when you're not seeing somebody's facial expression, their smile. Yes, I have been told like before in the past that I smile with my eyes. So for somebody like me, like from what I've been told, that they glitter, whatever, that you can see that happiness in my eyes and whatever. But regardless, as opposed to someone coming up with a mask on and then having somebody else come up without one on, or when they take it, they move it so that they can breathe and they smile or whatever. Like, yes, can it be a risk? That's a possibility. I don't know anything scientifically with everything. Everything's just kind of all over the place, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to pretend on here like I know anything of what really is happening. I found out that I am more naive than I ever imagined that I was with this kind of stuff, politics, all of it. And and I mean that as of not saying that I'm an uneducated woman, because I'm very educated and I really try hard to do my due diligence to read things and to educate myself. However, because there's so much stuff going every which way, it's really hard to be educated fully on everything that's going on. So, but for me to see somebody actually smile and see that expression, there's less anxiety for me in that, which is, you would think that I would have in the beginning when all this started, I had a lot of anxiety being even remotely like 12 feet away from somebody. Dip, dodge, duck, whatever. I was getting away from people.
If you can dodge a mask, you can dodge a wrench.
I mean, honestly, like it really felt like that because anytime we'd go in the store, I'd start just sweating bullets, not only because it was hard to breathe, but because I was so nervous even being 12 foot away from somebody. And my cousin had posted something about people that had like the fear of all of that in the beginning started to get to this point where they didn't have any fear and were just like, whatever. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to look for it, but it was to the point where they completely stopped even worrying about stuff with all of this.
Right.
And I kind of feel like I kind of went that way because in the beginning I was super scared. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was.
Right.
I was terrified.
It's really hard to pull out of that because when you have all of this fear mongering and numbers and constantly being thrown at you, and you're like, what do I believe?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, because I went from going, okay, I'm working this little job. I don't have a whole lot coming in. I just got to make it to this. You know, like just the little everyday things that felt like they were huge to, holy crap, if I get anywhere near somebody and they sneeze on me, I could die tomorrow.
Right.
And that sounds kind of more like an exaggeration, but when they put that out, that was serious. I was scared because, you know, they were saying like diabetics and, you know, people that were overweight had weak
People
immune
with
system,
asthma,
which I have too. It's milder than what you have.
Right.
But that terrified. And then, you know, you've got your elders telling you, please don't go out.
Speaking of that,
You know,
did you catch that old timer that came up to the booth with his wife? He was talking with Rodney and I, and he's like, well, I guess the joke doesn't fit here of who was that masked man?
oh God, no, I didn't see that. See, dark humor.
But it was funny
But
because
it helps.
he wasn't wearing a mask, his wife was. And when he said this and he saw me and Rodney's face just bust straight into laughter and smiles, and he's like, you gentlemen have a good day, and walked off with his wife. And I'm like, that's funny.
That was pretty funny. Like that isn't, you know, and it's interesting because, you know, we started to look for vehicles and stuff, and it's been very, very weird to me because if I go to the store, like I'm usually somebody that will open a door. I'll hold a door for somebody. You know, if someone drops something, I'll pick it up for somebody. And I still feel that way now that I'm not like, I can't be within 12 foot.
I still do it just because it's so ingrained into me.
Exactly.
That's what I do.
So, and I still do that. And then, you know, a lot of people have been really good about it. And thank you, whatever, you know, been cool about it. And I say to him, I said, I'm sorry if, you know, like, I don't know what the COVID etiquette is. I hate to say it that way, but I don't. Like, you don't know what people are accepting. You don't. And you try to be respectful. As a human being, we're all going through something. And you want to be respectful, like, the best you can. Even though there's a lot of people out there that are not respectful at all right now. There's a lot of really scary stuff going on in the world. And I talked a bit about that, too, last time. Because for somebody who is empathetic, like myself, and emotional, such as myself, seeing all of the posts and different things on Facebook, watching my friends just like tear each other down online, just all of these things that are coming out, you know, a lot of senseless violence and death and everything. And again, this is just me speaking from my heart. Doesn't mean that you guys have to agree with me on any of the stuff that I'm talking about. I'm just putting it out there. So please know that I respect everybody else's opinion or whatever. This is just me, and you can take it with a grain of salt, please. But the thing is, it's hard to watch that. It's hard to see all that. So, you know, I've been focusing, and I talked with my therapist about this. I said, someone with a heart like mine, like, I can't take this. And, you know, like, you watch people just being ugly. And I'm just like, Candy keeps bringing up a gypsy cart in the forest. And I'm like, when? Find some land. Let's do this. Let's be one with Mother Nature. I want to be Stevie Nicks, please.
I'm thinking like a cross between Outlander and like, I don't know, How to Get Away with Murder.
That's what it feels like in this world right now, you know? were talking about earlier with being able to lean on people and talk to people about what's going on inside of here. You know, it's hard to put that out there and to express those feelings, especially with everybody just kind of sideways about whatever, you know, because it's different across the board. It's really hard to find two people that really agree on everything across the board with what's all going on in 2020, and that's tough. So to be able to trust and to talk with people or to bring people into your life and stuff, I can understand where that's scary, but you know, you can't forget the humanity part about it, and I hope more and more people realize this, you know.
Candy just chimed in and said, "So proud of you, sis."
Thank you. Cheers. No,
Cheers.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate again the messages that I got. So I'm gonna go a little bit off the subject here onto something else. Okay, let me grab a drink because I do get like get dry.
Well, and before you get into that, that was one of the things that it was pretty unanimous for both weekends, this weekend and last weekend, that we did the farmers market, is people kept coming up to our booths and several of the booths going, it's just so nice to get out and see people
Yes.
again
Mm-hmm.
without, I mean, obviously respecting other people's spaces and whatnot. But it was just, person after person coming up to the booth going, it's so nice to see people again.
And I agree with that. I totally agree with it. Is there still a part of my mind where I'm scared, you know, that somebody else might be sick and not know it, or, you know, that we might still contract something? Of course. You do worry about your health, and you of course you don't want to get sick with anything like that. I've heard, you know, that even, you know, people that have had it and have made it through it, there are horrible side effects. I'm not saying that that's not the truth there. You know, one of my friends had gone through it and they had horrible nightmares from the fevers. You know, it was almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and this, of course, was obviously on the milder spectrum of it, because obviously worst case scenario could lead to death with it. And to hear that kind of no, I don't want to go through that either. But I also, you know, talking with my therapist, I don't want to not live either, because for so many months that's what we did. We stayed indoors. We stayed away from everybody. And again, this is just me talking about my experience. And that was hard, especially for somebody who's gone through a lot of trauma, to be away. Like, I didn't see you for months. We didn't see each other for months unless you like stopped by the porch for a minute to drop something off.
We social distance through the screen and dropping off little care packages,
Hmm.
or we were virtually communicating with each other.
That was it.
Yeah, and
With
that
several
that
people.
sucked. That
That
straight
was
up
hard.
sucked.
I mean, you and I, we've had this friendship for 6 years now,
yeah,
and that was hard because we didn't see each other, and you know, still haven't seen my dad. We had a visit
Yeah.
on the screen porch, and that was it. And still haven't seen Adam's parents. I still haven't seen Zach's parents.
Mhm.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That
Well,
hurts.
and that's what makes it difficult for me is, people that you love and care about. That's what's been so hard with the change is respecting other people's boundaries,
Right.
most importantly. But going, look, I love you. I care about you. I want to hug.
Mhm.
I want to spend time with you. I want to have this real FaceTime, not
Yeah.
something that's on a phone, or having dinner, or just, going out to eat with friends,
Right.
with, people that you haven't caught up from. Go to the bar and have a beer.
Right.
Whatever that is, that human, real, raw interaction is the
The-
thing that I miss the most.
what we considered normal and probably a lot of us took for granted before.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I relish the fact that any given day, like with Mitch,
Mhm.
Mitch forever was trying to get me to go out with him. I'm like, dude, I'm trying, man. And now, Mitch is doing the Mitch thing. So
Right.
whatever that is.
Yeah, you know, and I was going to touch base on, you know, I talked about getting the messages in the inbox for all the good stuff. Well, I've had some different stuff too. I've had a couple people reach out to me who have been dealing with some issues in their relationships, with things of their significant other not being so supportive of them, with them having a relationship that feels controlled. not so good. Some things in the relationship that are not so good. And with them being able to listen to Survivor Girl, to be able to see like the positives and the uplifting and all the different things that we discuss and of guests that I've had on, um, it's helped them to go, whoa, wait a minute, what am I doing? And to move forward and to start the process of getting away from the toxicity in their life. And the person in their relationship, significant others, have noticed the change in them and don't don't really particularly care for Survivor Girl, and that's okay. That's okay because honestly, I feel that I'm moving in the right direction and trying to help those that are going through that kind of a thing. I've talked about my situation with the stalker that I dealt with. Those kind of things that held me back. Scary time in my life. And, that I got through it, that I got over it, that I got out of it, and I've moved on into where I'm at now. And, I don't take credit for what the work that they're doing in their relationship and their life to improve, to get out of whatever bad situation that they're in. That's all them. It's just that one episode that they watched or something that I posted that got them thinking. And the more that they were practicing those positivities in their lives and their mornings and their daily routine, they started to find their worth again. And, that gets me. Honestly, that to know that I'm able to help inspire and my guests are able to help inspire you to get out of a situation like that, please don't give up. If you're going through something like that, please do not give up. You're doing the work. Don't let them hold you down anymore. Keep moving forward and do what is best for you. If you have children, for your children. It's scary. It is super scary to break away from that. And if you guys need help with that, I do have resources. I can get in touch with people to help you to get out of that situation. So please don't hesitate. And thank you so much for messaging me, for reaching out and letting me know. I'm not everybody's fan. Survivor Girl is not liked by everybody, and that's okay too.
I'm okay with that.
If it means that I'm helping to help somebody find that strength within themselves again, if my guests are helping to find that strength within them again because they've seen that they have survived and thrived and were able to get out of that situation and that they can do it too, then I'm okay with that too, 100%. I support and I see the work that you're doing. I see the confidence that you're getting back, and it gives me goosebumps, honestly. Look, guys, I see that. I see that you are working towards doing better for your life, and it's okay. Don't be scared. Keep on moving forward. And I give that out to everybody. I got a couple more things before we end the show tonight. This weekend, going to be in Caro at the farmer's market.
It's the American Legion Hall.
American Legion Hall. Going to be there
Yep.
Friday and Saturday. I will post on Survivor Girl and on Strange Friends Media SFM. Probably on Don't Make This Weird as well. I hope to see you guys out there. Friday and Saturday, I will have my unique creations. I'll be hanging out with Mary's handmade creations. Her and Rodney are a blast. Love those guys. Great stuff. Great prices. We're going to be hanging out there. And also, there is another event coming up next month that I want to talk about. And a shout out to my dear friend Katie Skelton. I got a chance to go stop out and drop off a little gift for her. She's going through a rough time, guys. If you do prayers, if you do positive, if you light a candle, whatever it is you do, she's a great staple of our community. She's a sweetheart of a person, and she is going through cancer again, unfortunately. And she's talked about it, so it's not a surprise. There's going to be a motorcycle run forward, and I'm getting teary because I got a chance to meet her back in the spring. She's the one that did the whole drive around with the bunny. Me and her got together and we went and did this, and it was such a cool thing. Our help-o-meters were full. We felt awesome about it. So you guys, if you can make it to this, it's not just for motorcycles, vehicles too. It's going to be September 26th. It's going to start at 9 a.m. at the Moose Lodge. The motorcycles parked by the Moose Lodge, and the vehicles, vans, trucks, cars, whatever, park at the soccer field. Everybody's going to get together. I think there's a fee. I will post it up on Survivor Girl. You're able to join, and all of the proceeds go to helping her in this time of need. I got to meet her family when I stopped over to drop the present off. And you guys, no matter who it is that's facing cancer, it sucks. It's crap. So if you guys can come and help her out, that would be awesome. Can you take it for a minute?
Yeah. Well, I actually ran into another mutual friend of ours, Andrea and Johnny. They were at the oven. We went to dinner, and it was me, Sean, and Candy. And she's like, "Hey, did you see this benefit that's going on for Katie?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that on the Survivor Girl podcast."
Right.
And I said, Heather, the host, is going to go through and give her a shout out sometime during the show. I don't know when that is. So tune in and be able to share that on social media because, well, Heather was the Easter bunny for the Easter season, and being able to drive around and wave as the Easter bunny was Adam laid in the bottom of the truck
Holding the sign.
holding the sign and taking video of the ceiling.
So thank you for that moment to compose myself. Cancer is something that I am not a stranger to. I've been through, dealt with that in my life with my family members. Just lost my aunt recently.
Yeah.
And when I found out that this was something that she was facing, my heart sunk. I'm going to be honest. She is a tough, tiny little lady. I know she's tough.
Yeah.
She's super tough, and I feel with that mentality that she's got to not let it take her out, that she's going to continue. She's got a great surgeon who is right on top of everything.
Right.
And so if you guys are able to support, what's going to happen is everybody's going to sign up, do this thing, put in the money towards it, and it's all going to go towards her.
Right.
And it's driving by her house and showing her support, showing her love, honking. You know, she's got Katie's Crusaders.
Nice.
And I also have the hashtag now, gloves up for Katie. So that everybody who can help surround her, help her.
Yeah.
Again, you know, you don't have to be the praying type. It's totally, everybody comes from a different walk of life. I like to pray. That's my thing. If you like candles or whatever it is, good vibes, however you do it, if you would like to, say a little something for her in this journey. I had a memory come up on Facebook just yesterday for my mom's benefit back, 6 years ago. So, and those people helped out, and it was tremendous help for us as well. So if you can help with Katie, that would be amazing. She is a heart of gold. She's a great person.
Yeah.
And of course, I had to save the best for last with talking about her. I had to. That's
Speaking
my
of
girl.
that, this is my brain just chimed in and said, tuned in late, blessing peeps.
Thank you. This is my brain. Jeremy Scott Gibbs. He's been on this show before. You guys have seen him here.
Yeah.
If you have not, you can go back and look at episodes. There was a great episode of him talking about fear. We've had some really great times here on the show with him. Check out his podcast. It's a little bit different from what I do here. It's more political and real topics, talking with real people.
Current events.
It's not exactly like they're all on the same page either, which I kind of like to see the differences. But they have a conversation and they remain friends afterward.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if you guys get a chance to check out This Is My Brain, it's on Saturday nights, right?
Saturday
And then
nights.
there's
And
Tuesday night rants.
Tuesday night
as
rants.
well.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
you can find him on YouTube. He's got his own channel. And again, I'm going to try my best to remember all the things I told you guys I was going to post. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me be real, showing my heart, and everything that is just who I am. Thank you guys for accepting me, loving me, supporting Survivor Girl and my new journey with Dragonfly Boutique, unique recycled wares. I'm super excited about everything that we're doing moving forward, and I just appreciate all the support because that means something to me very much. So remember, guys, no matter what it is that you're facing, try this week to jump in, try new things. If it's something that you have been wanting to try and you haven't had the courage, go for it, as long as it's not illegal. Remember that. All right, guys, remember that life is best lived. We'll see you a couple Sundays from now. I'm taking a vacation. Love you guys. Take care.